Wi-Fi with a screen the size of your hand. Home internet shouldn't be a luxury. Everyone should have it. And now, a lot more people can. So let's go. The digital age is waiting.
Giuliani, What Happened to America's Mayor, tomorrow at 9 on CNN.
Closed captioning brought to you by Mesobook.com.
We offer a free book on mesothelioma. Call for the free book and receive so much more. Call 1-800-831-3700.
Search and recovery efforts continue this hour after severe storms and tornadoes thrashed the region. At least 37 tornadoes were reported, leaving at least 9 people dead in Alabama and Georgia. The city of Griffin, Georgia was hit with an EF3 twister. One family there had a tree fall into their home. Everyone but the father was able to escape. He was pinned for hours under that tree until fire crews were able to rescue him. And now to California, where the extreme weather continues to batter that state. Right now, 25 million people are under flood watches, some areas seeing more than 6 times the normal rainfall in just the last 2 weeks. Today's storms are raising concerns of further flooding and possible landslides. CNN's Natasha Chen is in Fairfax, California. Natasha, what a mess left behind by these storms. What are you seeing there right now?
Well, Jim, there is just a slight drizzle right now. It's a bit of a relief from the pouring we saw this morning, and there's more rain to be expected in the next 24, 48 hours. But the real threat here, even if we don't see as much rainfall as the state has seen over the last couple of weeks, the ground and the rivers are already very saturated, so it's not going to take much for flooding to happen, or mudslides for that matter, like what happened behind this set of buildings just yesterday. There were multiple trees that came crashing through the back. 19 residents, along with all their pets, had to be evacuated. And we spoke to one of those residents, Mark Fleischer, who told us what that felt like when it came through. Here he is.
You have no idea unless you've been in one of these. I had never been in one of these. We had no idea what was happening until I came outside. And there were floods. This is nothing. It was coming down this broad and about this deep.
He said that he thought he heard thunder yesterday, but it wasn't thunder. It was actually just the mud and the hillside coming down there. So extremely dangerous for these areas that have been already so wet over the last couple of weeks, storm after storm. And right now what we're eyeing, what we're watching, is the Russian River to the north and also the Salinas River, both expected to flood. We've seen warnings from Monterey County officials, from Santa Clara County officials south of San Francisco last night, issuing some evacuation orders. So a lot of areas warning residents that they really do have to be careful here, even if we're not seeing as much rainfall once again as we have in the last couple of weeks. When I talked to Mr. Fleischer, everybody acknowledges that this is much needed precipitation to help with the drought situation, but he said he wishes it was just a little more spread out. Jim.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's space it apart just a little bit. But in the meantime, Natasha Chen, thank you very much for reporting a lot of difficult days ahead for the folks there in that part of California. Thanks very much. The cousin of a co-founder of the Black Lives Matter organization is dead after Los Angeles police repeatedly tased him following a traffic accident. We want to warn you, the video we're about to show you is disturbing. Authorities say after police arrived on the scene, 31-year-old Keenan Anderson resisted arrest, attempted to flee, and was warned multiple times before the taser was used. Police body camera footage shows Anderson in distress and begging for help, at one point saying, quote, "They're trying to George Floyd me." CNN's Stephanie Elam has more. And again, we want to warn you, what you're about to see is disturbing.
The end of a police encounter, the beginning of a nightmare for the family of 31-year-old Keenan Anderson, the cousin of Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrisse Cullors, who posted, "Keenan deserves to be alive right now. His child deserves to be raised by his father."
Stay with your legs crossed.
Police say it began with a traffic accident that witnesses said Anderson caused. Anderson was running around near the scene, police say, when an officer caught up with him. He initially complied, dropping to his knees and putting his hands behind his head as he pleaded with the officer.
Please, sir, I didn't need some, sir, please.
Anderson later jogged into the middle of the road,
Come here.
where police restrained him and eventually tasered him.
Turn over on your stomach right now. My trouble, Floyd. You're trying to do it, Floyd. You're trying to do it. Stop it. Stop it, or I'm gonna tase you. Okay, stop it, or I'm gonna tase you. Stop it, or I'm gonna tase you. Stop resisting. Please, stop resisting. Please. 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 I'm gonna tase him. I'm gonna tase him. You're trying to kill me. You're trying to kill me.
The video, edited and released by LAPD, shows Anderson is tasered 5 times. He died later of cardiac arrest at the hospital.
Keenan Anderson said, they're trying to George Floyd me. They're trying to George Floyd me. And guess what happened? They did.
Police say early test results indicate cocaine and marijuana in Anderson's system. Keenan Anderson was a high school English teacher in Washington, D.C., visiting LA during winter break. His death is one of 3 involving LAPD officers.